what's been on my mind. Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city life. Hey darling, we could get out of town, see the beautiful world around, wanna see it now.
Hey guys, it's Bella from Hale Family Homestead in Northeast Florida, and today we wanted to share with you a tour of our garden. So let's get going. So I'm going to start in this back corner closest to our chicken coop. Over here we've got our tomato plants. So what we did this year was we planted them inside of these planter boxes, and we've got four different boxes of them. It is the Red Bounty tomato. I couldn't remember which variety we did. They've been doing very good for the longest time this year, and they contracted a bunch of diseases, so now they're kind of like at a halt. But we're hoping we'll be able to get some tomatoes out of them. So here's one, and then we've got the other three along this bench that we built for our raised boxes, just to add a little bit more dimension and space to our garden. In this box we have some watermelons that are finally sprouting. You can see them here. They're vining out. It looks like just one or two that actually germinated, but you know, watermelons, they'll go for a while, so it'll be perfectly fine. They'll spread out. Along our bench we have right here some cayenne pepper. So you can see they're starting to turn red. What I'm going to do is dehydrate and grind these into a powder for sale on our website. We also have another one right here on the ground. And then in this corner we've got some rosemary that I dehydrate and grind for seasonings for sale on our website as well. Here I have my fig tree that my grandma gave me. It's not doing very well right now because it hasn't had very much water, but it bounces back pretty quickly. Alright, so here are two of our blueberry bushes. They've been picked over for the year, so there's like one or two left, but these are two small blueberry bushes that we have here. Alright, so right down here in this box we have some daisies. We got these because they're a really good pollinator, and as you guys know, we do have our honeybees, and I just wanted to provide a mixture of fruits, vegetables, and flowers within our garden so we can attract some really nice pollinators. Back here is the first one that I showed you, that tomato plant. Then we go over to this box, we have our lettuce. So this lettuce, you can see we're getting a head right here, and a head is forming right here. This lettuce is not quite iceberg, but it's similar to iceberg. It's got the crunchy factor that iceberg has. And we have, I think, 5 lettuce plants right here. I feed this to our rabbit a lot. And then back here, I can't remember what this flower is called, but I planted this a year or two ago, and it's just for pretty factors. So this big box here, we have a couple different things growing. In the front we've got 2 strawberry plants. You can see we still have some strawberries going, but again, mostly picked over because it is almost June now. And then we have 1 lone corn. Don't know how this started growing, but we're just leaving it just to see if we can get a corn cob off of it. And back here we have 4 jalapeno plants. So if you look under, you can see the big old jalapenos that are growing. And this is what I make my jalapeno hot sauce out of. This box we don't usually have very much luck with, but oh, here's a worm, squirmy worm right there. Going all over, but that's a good sign. We need those in our garden, so I'm going to put him back. This year we just planted a few carrots just to see what would happen, and they're growing pretty well. We don't have many, but we've got them growing, so that's good. Back here we have our bell peppers. So normally we would try to do a couple of different colors of bell peppers, but we haven't had much luck with the yellow or the red ones. So we just kind of stick with the green bell peppers because it gives off the most amount, and in our family we like to eat a lot of peppers and onions. So we've got 4, I think, maybe, yeah, 4 bell pepper plants. You can see here they're nice and big, the size that you get at the store, but they're organically grown. We've got some more strawberries. The first strawberries that I showed you are ever bearing. These strawberries are June bearing. So let's see, I don't see any on this plant, but again, they are already picked over. This was just a wildflower mix. I'm not exactly sure what flowers these are or these, but it's just a variety of different colors of wildflowers. And right here behind me is our grape trellis. When we went on our honeymoon in Italy, we went to a vineyard and we decided we wanted to learn how to grow grapes. So the next month we came back out here and we decided to plant 3 different grape plants. They're either red or purple grapes, I can't exactly remember, but these are the first year that they're producing. You can see got lots of grapes hanging down. They haven't turned colors yet. They're not about the size yet either. Nice and firm. There's a bug crawling up me. Okay, but they're still nice and firm, but hopefully we'll be able to harvest some grapes and make some jam this year. But this is our trellis that Gordon built, and they just kind of vine up and over, and they vine everywhere because they're up in the tree too as well. In this box we've got our onions. We planted these actually last fall, so they're not a spring and summer crop, but you can smell them when you come over here. You can see we uncovered the onion, but we've got a ton of onions growing through this box, which is good because we love having onions in our house for peppers and onions. Up in this front box, again, we have some onions, and then we also have some bachelor buttons that are planted here. We planted those by seed, so they haven't flowered yet, but they're getting pretty close. And in this box, what we did was we took a cattle panel. We put it over, as you guys remember from one of our recent videos, we did have the squash growing up here. It was doing super well, and we got combated by the pickle worms, but we still have our cucumbers. Surprisingly, they were never taken over by the pickle worms, but you can see here, got some huge cucumbers growing, and we're actually gonna go ahead and pickle these up into some kosher and bread and butter pickles. A little about our garden. It's about 400 square feet. We started it from complete scratch, so it was just a little space that we had that was grown over by grass. We tilled up all the dirt and got rid of all the roots, and then we built these little boxes. I wanted them to be raised, but I also wanted to do in-ground gardening. So what we did was we just took some cedar 1x6s and built kind of like a picture frame and set them on the ground. That way we had the dirt on top, but we also had the crops growing deep into the dirt. Gordon said that if he were to redo it, he would take 2x6s, but this is what we have and it works fine for us. It helps it drain a lot more rather than being just completely in the ground. If you were to do it completely in the ground, what I would do is build up some mounds. That way it does drain to either side of the crop. Since we started this from the beginning, our soil obviously wasn't up to the standards of the nutrients that it needed. And so it took us a couple of years to get the soil to a place where we were able to grow like this. This is either year 4 or 5 that we've had this garden going. And we got it down kind of to a science, and we got the watering down. That's the next part I'm going to show you. So I used to water with a hose, which is inconsistent. You never know how much you're actually watering, even if you are timing. And now we put in a irrigation system. So we have a drip system that Gordon built. I can show you what the hoses look like first. So these are the hoses. They're easily customized because we do crop rotation every time we replant. So we can pull them out and re-customize depending on what we have planted. But they go down the row, and they've got these little nipples that just drip you know, a little bit of water. It's on a timer as well, so we have the exact same amount of water. We used to have a sprinkler system in here that did overground sprinkling, but we ran into even more problems with that because the leaves were getting wet and it was causing mold and mildew and all those different types of problems. So this is the best way for us. It's easy and you don't have to come out and water 3 times a day. These are our timers. This is over on the far side of our garden, but one is for the drip system and one is for our sprinklers. We do still have the sprinklers because we did put down sod. Here in Florida, it rains often enough that we really don't have to ever put them on, but if we do need to put them on and the grass is starting to die, then we can go ahead and set that for once a week or whatever it may need. So depending on your area, you'll want a different amount of watering, but here in Northeast Florida, it's pretty hot during the day, so we do 2 sessions of drip watering for 15 minutes a day, I believe, and that goes in the morning, I think, and then in the evening. You'll also want to cover in your garden. We personally like to use pine straw. It keeps the weeds out and the moisture in and really helps your garden. Some people use pine fines. I know pine fines are really good for blueberry bushes, but depending on your plant, you'll want to research what type of cover you can put over them. Pine straw is just a good generic one for all crops that we use a lot here. Sometime last year I decided I needed a little area to wash off my produce before I brought it inside because I was filling the sink with dirt and I just didn't think that was very good for the pipes. So we came up with this little produce washing table. It was super easy to make. Took us an hour probably, and we had some old chicken wire that we used for the center, and when I pick my produce I usually put it in a colander, but I'll bring it out here and set it on the table, wash it all off before I bring it inside, and it just makes it a little bit easier for the process on the inside. Everything we do in our garden is grown organically. Any kind of sprays we use is all organic, completely natural. We kind of set out on a quest to be able to grow our own food organically. That way we knew exactly what we were putting in our body. It's very fulfilling to know that you were the one that grew your own dinner that's on your plate that you can share with friends and family. And we use a lot of compost here, so everything that we don't eat or consume either goes to the chickens or goes into our compost pile and then goes back in turn to our garden. As I said, we've been having some problems with our tomatoes. I don't know if it's squirrels or cats or birds, but something's been eating them, and it's not a worm. So I'm gonna go ahead and give these to the chickens as a treat, as well as some weeds. They like to eat the weeds, and there's some other, you know, produce that didn't make it, and I just wanted to give it to them as a treat. So let's go give it to the chickens. So we're in the chicken run now. I like to feed them out here so it keeps it a little bit cleaner inside, but I don't know if they're gonna come straight to them or not. They're a little hard, so they may have to get a little bit softer in the sun over the next few days, but they love having some weeds. Looks like there's some peppers in there and greens, and so it makes it a little bit of a nice treat and a healthier diet for the chickens, which in turn makes healthier eggs. Thank you guys so much for watching our videos. As always, if you'd like to see some more, hit that subscribe button and give us a big thumbs up. If you wanted to shop any of our farm products or support our farm in general, you can head over to www.halefamilyhomestead.com. Be sure to follow us on all our social media. Instagram is Hale Family Homestead, Facebook is Hale Family Homestead, and now TikTok, Hale Family Homestead. We hope you all have a great rest of your day, and let's make this a productive week. Thanks for watching. Bye. Say bye, Scout Scout.